look at the history of countries around the world, when you start treating people differently, not because of any harm they're doing anybody, but because they're different, that's the path whereby freedoms begin to erode. And bad things happen. And when a government gets in the habit of treating people differently, those habits can spread. If somebody is a law-abiding citizen who is going about their business and working in a job and obeying the traffic signs and doing all the other things that good citizens are supposed to do, and not harming anybody, the idea that they are going to be treated differently or abused because of who they love is wrong. Full stop.
Just like President Obama, I think we also need to be able to speak frankly about some of these things. And the fact of the matter is that Kenya and the United States, we share so many values. Our common love for democracy, entrepreneurship, value for families. These are things that we share. But there are some things that we must admit we don't share. Our culture, our societies don't accept. It's very difficult for us to be able to impose on people that which they themselves do not accept. This is why I repeatedly say that for Kenyans today, the issue of gay rights is really a non-issue. We want to focus on other areas that are day-to-day living for our people. The health issues that we have discussed with President Obama, these are critical. Issues of ensuring inclusivity and of women, a huge section of society that is normally left out of the mainstream of economic development. What we can do in terms of infrastructure, what we can do in terms of education, in terms of our roads, in terms of giving our people power, encouraging entrepreneurship. These are the key focuses. Maybe once, like you have, overcome some of these challenges, we can begin to look at new ones. But as of now, the fact remains that this issue is not really an issue that is on the foremost mind of Kenyans.
One of the major issues, and it's a holdover from sort of colonial Victorian, is the issue of sexual preference in many African countries. In Kenya, to be gay, the LGBT community is illegal. They just want to have equal rights, the same privacy and equality as all other Kenyans do. Is that something that you aspire to for your country?
I want to be very clear, Christiana. I will not engage in a subject that is of it is not of any major importance to the people and the Republic of Kenya. This is not an issue, as you would want to put it, of human rights or this. This is an issue of society, of our own base as a culture, as a people, regardless of which community you come from. This is not acceptable. This is not agreeable. This is not about Uhuru Kenyatta saying yes or no. This is an issue that the people of Kenya themselves, who have bestowed upon themselves a constitution, right, after several years, have clearly stated that this is not a subject that they are willing to engage in.
Mnangagwa says he will not campaign to make gay marriage legal, but he is promising to allow independent observers to monitor Zimbabwe's next election. He spoke with Richard Quest at Davos.
This new constitution, in the past, we had no limit terms of leadership in the country. But the current constitution, which came into effect on the 22nd of May, 2013, gives limits. Maximum is 2 terms for any president, and I'll abide by that.
So let's not count this term. Let's say you stand for election. Let's say you've got another term. You could be president for the next, what, 5, 10 years?
It's only 10 years. The first term will be 5 years, then another term is for 5 years. If I win the elections, that's the basis of how one becomes leader.
And you've already pledged to allow independent monitors from the African Union, from the European Union, and from others to come and monitor the elections.
Absolutely. I have said that this time around, we are going to have fair, free, and credible elections. And to do so, you must open the space for people to come and observe. That is our region, the continent, the EU, and other member states of the United Nations who apply to come and observe our...
I know you're busy with time, and I have a couple of areas I just need to dwell on. On the question of human rights, on the question, for example, of same-sex rights, never mind same-sex marriage or anything like that that might be in the future, for want of a better word, gay rights, the overturning of laws against homosexuality. Can you promise me today that you will do that?
I'm a constitutionalist. The current provision in the Constitution forbids same-sex marriages and uphold that until that issue in our country is not an issue of the political party.
Not same-sex marriage. I'm talking about same-sex relationships. Never mind, we can put marriage to something. I'm talking about same sexual activity.
In our current constitution, it is banned.
Are you going to lead a campaign?
No, I will not lead a campaign.
Why not?
Those people who want that are the people who must canvass for such things, so that if they're able to win majority in amending the constitution, they would amend it. But it's not my duty on that issue to say I want to campaign for this. No.
Of course it is your, with respect, Mr. President, of course it's your duty. It's your duty to uphold human rights as recognised by the United Nations and as recognised by the countries.
It's my duty to obey my constitution.
Correct.
I would not be persuaded to violate my constitution. Currently, my constitution says what I have said. But the constitution does not forbid people with different opinions. They must canvass for the opinions which they have.
So I'm asking for your opinion, both as a man and as president. Are you in favour of changing the constitution on that issue?
No, I am not. It's never a priority in Zimbabwe to deal with that issue. During 2013, when everybody was able to canvass, those who canvassed for that position lost. We go by the majority view of our people. And currently, the majority view is what I am stating.
So you keep Zimbabwe in a different age. Never mind same-sex marriage, but in an age when the European Union, the United States, Australia recently enacted same-sex marriage, and pretty much... your country is in a very small minority.
I don't think with my priorities today, I would grow my economy, right? Increase the standard of life of my people, putting that as a priority. Our priority now of my government is to embrace the international community and say Zimbabwe is open for business. Let people who want to invest in Zimbabwe say this is what they want, these are the constraints they see, and this is what I believe is necessary for us to grow, to catch up with some of the developing countries in our world, in our region.
One more on this. I venture to disagree with you, Mr. President.
That's democratic.
Surely, by changing, whether it's on women's rights, gay rights, whatever rights it is, human rights, surely by changing those, you really send the true message that you're not just interested in money coming in for dollars for business, but creating an equal environment for all. Surely that's a much more powerful message than just asking for a bit of extra foreign direct investment.
It's not a question of having dollars in Zimbabwe. It's a question of development. We must have functional railway systems in my country. We must have functional infrastructure in terms of highways and so on. We must have functional manufacturing sector in the country. I must modernize and mechanize my agriculture in Zimbabwe. I must have a developed mining sector in Zimbabwe. These are the things, as far as I'm concerned, are the issues which my people look at for government to address and facilitate for their development so that we catch up with members of the region.